Welcome to the Global Peace Film Festival Lives Online Conversation 2022 Festival Edition. Please join me, Kelly Devine, the Artistic Director, and Nina Stripe, the Executive Director, in welcoming Katie Kamala Haley, the director and producer of I Believe It's My Time, a film that you can see as part of our 20th anniversary festival coming up in September of 2022. Please do check out peacefilmfest.org for all the information regarding scheduling, ticket availability, and other non-film events. Our in-person events begin September 19th and run through September 25th. That is followed immediately by our virtual access starting September 26th and ending October the 2nd. And now let's welcome Katie to our conversation. Thank you, Katie, so much for your film and for joining us today.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
Hi, Katie. So let's start this off. Tell us about it. I Believe It's My Time.
I Believe It's My Time is a film for women. It's about women, and it's more than just, even though it's about entrepreneurial women, I believe it's my time means, what have you been holding back on? What is your dream that you want to do? What are the reasons why you feel like you can't do it? And these 11 inspiring women in the film, all diverse ages, diverse backgrounds, they are telling their gems of wisdom and their advice and also their inspiration of why, it is our time now to do what we dream about doing.
And Katie, can you tell us a little bit about, why it was important to choose these particular stories as part of telling this overall picture of women?
Yes, I was like many people. I had free time during the pandemic and I was traveling. I was doing a project up in New York in the Hudson Valley. And I was looking to make something, but I didn't know what. So I was staying in this hotel for 2 months in a really cute little town called Saugerties. And I was going to a yoga boutique, and I was going to this chocolate shop and a creperie, a cafe. And they were all run by these really young, really vibrant young women, so professional. And one day they told me that 80% of the town that were owned, the businesses were owned by women. And it just got me thinking, this is could be a great documentary. And I started thinking about other women that I knew. And that's how the idea came about, because I'd been an entrepreneur since I was 25, but these women were so far ahead of me, these young women. And I just wanted to get to know them better and tell this story. And that's how the ideas came to me.
And so
at least the beginning.
Yes. So you journey from New York State down the coast and to Florida. So there must have been a lot that you learned and a lot that surprised you along the way as you went from story to story and business to business.
Yes. Yeah, North Carolina and Asheville is a second home to me. I lived there briefly, like maybe 10 years ago. And I was thinking of my friends that I was visiting, and one of them that's in the film, she's been like a mentor of mine, and the other one I've done creative work with. The other woman I've known since we were in our 20s, and I asked them if they would join in and be in the film, and I didn't know because one of them is quite private, but I had a way of talking them into it because I felt like they had interesting things to share.
Well, and you talk about the sharing that they had done. What was your approach? We ask this often of filmmakers. A really successful documentarian puts their subjects at ease, and you can always tell that because of of the sincerity that comes through, and that's definitely apparent in your film. So, can you talk a little bit about your approach?
Oh, thank you. Well, my background before, like in my 20s, I was a makeup artist, and I did work on some film sets, low budget things, a lot of shoots for photography and commercials. And part of being a makeup artist and a stylist was to help relax them, give them confidence, make them look good. And then my other job, I've been a therapist for over 20 years. I do different kinds of alternative therapy and getting people to feel at ease. So I feel like that is one of my talents as a director, is to make the talent feel good and to feel comfortable. You know, as women, we're always worried about, you know, how we look, how we sound, how we're presenting ourselves, and to, you know, give people a lot of takes, make people feel comfortable. So that's important to me, that they feel that way, and that I do make them look good and sound good. It's not like a reality TV. I get a chance to, you know, make them express themselves in the way they want to, and capture that.
Well, I think you did an excellent job, and you certainly, going from portrait to portrait, um, what you just said about letting them, express themselves. Thinking about the young woman who owned the restaurant, who has an intersection with the Black Lives Matter or the George Floyd, and from a very personal standpoint herself. That's a very touching and impactful story. And it's I think it was really moving that you included that.
Yeah, thank you. You know, she's been a friend of mine. We had businesses in Delray Beach, and we traded massage for food and all these things that we kind of shared. And she was the first vegan restaurant in Delray Beach, and I've been passionate about that subject for a long time. I've been vegan for decades, and that's how we got to know each other. And I was, you know, involved in her life when those things were happening with her cousin, and how that all transformed. And I wanted to know if she would be interested in talking to that, because film does reflect our culture of what's going on at the time. And that, when I filmed that in the end of 2020, that was really going on. And so she was really open to talk about that. So I felt like that was important. And I'd also seen, you know, things I left out about the film, in the film, but she had been really subjected to a lot of racial problems in the town of Delray Beach by not customers and people, but other businesses. And, you know, we didn't really go into all that, but it was important to her. And I was glad she talked about that.
Oh, that's a wonderful gift that you were able to give her for that expression. And in terms of what you just touched on about film being important to reflect and also sometimes to lead in our cultural discussions, that's a big part of the mission of our film festival, is not just simply to share well-made stories like yours, but also we hope that people will take something away from the films that we show, back into their own personal lives, back into their communities, to make the world a more just or peaceful place. And I was just wondering if you could speak to what you would hope people would take away with them after seeing your film.
Oh, thank you. That's a great question. I hope people would take away that it's just okay to be yourself, that you have everything you need to be successful. You just have to get rid of the limiting belief systems. And the idea of the representation of all these different people uh, was important, because I mean, diversity is a huge subject right now, and it's true. I mean, you don't have to look like someone else, act like someone else. A lot of the women in the film talked about, you don't have to wait till you have all the money to get started with your dream or your business. That really all you need is your heart, your self-confidence, the believing in yourself, and then things seem to fall into place. So all the stories that I do, this is my third film. I want people to feel good and uplifted. That's part of the thing. And with the global peace, is to feel, because we can't have peace in the world till we have peace within ourselves, and doing what you love. And it doesn't have to be a business. It can be a personal project. It can be activism. It can be any type of a hobby. And maybe that you haven't done it yet, or you keep waiting. So I believe it's my time means right now is the time.
That's
Right.
that's wonderful, and that also, so clearly reflects what we hope to promote at the Global Peace Film Festival. So tell us, how can people watching this and people who come to the festival support your work? And also, you mentioned that you're working on some other films. What's next for you?
Well, I do have this project I'm kind of dreaming about that is a hybrid of a documentary and kind of a fantasy. I've not got to do anything with like special effects or green screens, and it's really a good idea. And it would take place in Mexico. So maybe in the end of October, I'm going to get to go there and kind of check some things out. So I hope. And as far as support, to go to my YouTube channel and maybe just make some comments on the films I had there. And like, I don't have anything really monetized right now. Right now, my films really are a way for me to express my art. I had someone at my last screening that said, "Oh, is being a filmmaker always your dream?" And I said, "No, because I didn't even know it was a possibility to be a dream." But being an entrepreneur had been my dream, and partly the reason for being so passionate about the film and following your passion. But I went to film school. I signed up just to take an editing class because I wanted to know how to edit things to make videos for my businesses that I had, my small independent business. And then once I had to sign up for the school, the professor was like, "Well, why don't you take this? Why don't you take this?" And I had gotten some scholarships, and then before I knew it, I really loved it. And my background in writing, and I realized so many people don't read as much anymore, that the whole format has gone to video. So then after I graduated, I said, wow, this really is a dream of mine, to express myself and express other people's stories in film and get to be artistic. Like my film, I wanted it to have a certain aesthetic and look a certain way. I wanted it to be beautiful. I wanted not just, I'm not really a fan of the talking head documentary per se. I like to have some aesthetic in it. So the new thing I'm working on, I want it to be, again, part documentary and part something else that has a really interesting visual element to it.
Well, we look forward to following your progress on that, and we'll certainly share any progress through the Global Peace Film Festival social media channels. So do keep us up to date.
Yeah, thank you. So Katie Kamala Films is the YouTube.
Oh, fantastic.
And
Thank you. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
oh, no, thank you so much. I really had a good time talking about it, and I'm so excited to go to the festival and meet other people, connect with the community and with other filmmakers.
That we are looking forward to it as well. That's always a big part of the reward for us is creating a space for people to have those kinds of connections. So thank you. Thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Kate. And thank you all for watching this glow. Again, we've been speaking with Katie Kamala Haley, the writer and producer behind I Believe It's My Time. And you can go to katieKamalaFilms.com to find out more about her previous work and her upcoming work. And again, this film will be part of the upcoming 20th anniversary Global Peace Film Festival, beginning September 19th with our in-person programming. And that runs through September 25th and is followed immediately by our virtual programming beginning September 26th, ending October the 2nd. All of the information about our film scheduling, ticketing, and our other non-film event opportunities can be found at peacefilmfest.org. Thank you again, and we'll see you at the next Glow.